Welcome back, everyone. My name is Johnny Stitches, and these are my top 10 movies for 2025. Now, this is my second top 10 video. My first one was for 2024, and I did it on this day exactly a year ago, which is why this video is so belated and will probably become, hopefully, an anniversary thing. My rules for my top 10 are pretty simple. They have to be movies that I saw and reviewed. There are a few movies I saw this year that I did not have time to review, and I would not put them on this list. And even my honorable mentions are movies that you can find reviews for on my channel.
Honorable mentions.
So the first honorable mention was Ballerina. I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was great. A cool entry into the John Wick universe without being a titled John Wick movie. Everybody hooped and hollered like crazy when John Wick showed up. I gave it, I think, a B+ originally, and you can check out the full review again on this channel. My second honorable mention would be the Minecraft movie, which I gave a B+ to. I really enjoyed this movie a lot. I was singing the Lava Chicken song a lot throughout the year. Great time. Did not make it into my top 10, but it was definitely worth mentioning here. My final honorable mention, which was really close to making it into my top 10, it's actually the only A-rated, well, A-, but still an A in the letter grade rating movie that did not make it into my top 10, and that is 28 Years Later. I just got through seeing The Bone Temple, where I got my cool little bookmark with a Jimmy on it. And I really enjoyed that movie more. I have reviews for both of those movies on the channel. Yeah, I really liked it 28 Years Later. It was breath of fresh air in the zombie franchise, and which is really cool seeing as it was coming like 22 or 23 years after the first one. But yeah, great movie. Both of them are cool. I will say again, 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple is probably my preferred movie in this reinvigorated franchise. All right, here we go into the top 10. My top 10 is rated in my least favorite to my favorite. And of course, if it's in the top 10, I feel like using the word least really doesn't do the word favorite a lot of justice. These were all great movies, and this was a hard top 10 to do, but this is what I got. So here we go.
Number 10.
Bugonia. This has got Emma Stone and Jesse Plemons in it. It was a trippy ass movie. Again, I'm not going to do any mini reviews here for the movie. I'm just going to give my thoughts of excitement. But I have full reviews for this movie on the channel. And this one, I did not know what to expect after watching Poor Things. And it's not Poor Things. This is a lot more grounded, I guess, than our reality for some parts of the movie. But Emma Stone does an amazing job. Jesse Plemons is takes the conspiracy theorists to the next level. You need to see Bugonia if you haven't.
Number 9.
SiSU, Road to Revenge. This was a sequel that I wasn't even aware was coming. After seeing the first movie, I didn't know how they would do a sequel to the movie, and they did. They pulled it off great. I really dug how they brought it home, literally like to his home country. Just a lot of John Wick-esque murdering ensues of revenge in the most gruesome ways possible, but feeling so justified and vindicated each time they happen. They do a great job in these movies of really making you hate the people that are getting brutally murdered. Go see SiSU Road to Revenge. If you haven't seen the first one, you probably need to watch it. It's the best time you'll ever have watching Nazis get killed, I think was their tagline. And it is definitely that. And this is that just for Soviets.
Number 8.
Weapons. This movie is a trip, and it has a crazy ending, and I know the internet has a lot of different feelings on the ending of this movie. The ending of this movie is not what pushed it so low in my list, because I know it's quite high on a lot of other people's lists. And though I do see a lot of horror movies, I don't want to pigeonhole myself into a horror movie channel because that's not my favorite types of movies, but I did see a lot of them last year. But to be fair, 2025 was a really great year for horror last year. Weapons was a trip in a way that I was not expecting. I thought this movie was going to go a totally different way than it went, and when the reveal happens in this movie, it did put me aback, but not in a, oh, this movie sucks kind of way or anything like that, but it did make me have to readjust to how and why this all happened. I'm kind of glad it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I want to tiptoe around spoilers here, but it brought up an element in horror that I feel like doesn't get brought up a lot. Have you seen those movies where someone disappears and then their ghost like guides them to something? I thought it was going to be something like that on like a classroom scale, which may be crazy, but that's kind of what I gathered from the trailers and the protagonist and all that when we see them. And it's not that. It's one of those movies where you see a story happen from different characters' points of view and you get their reactions to those points of view. And it was done very well.
Number 7.
Nuernberg. I like a historical movie. I'm really into them. History was my favorite subject growing up, and I've seen adaptations of this trial through made-for-TV stuff and older movies, but this was by far my favorite. I know this is probably the most Hollywood version of this story, but it's great. The acting's great. Russell Crowe is great. Rami Malek is great. There's some nail-biting scenes. Even though it's a historical picture and you know what's going to happen, there's still the elements of, oh my God, what if this happens? Or what's going to happen to this person? And I know it's all based on a true story, and I don't know how much fiction is injected into Rami Malek's character because I don't think he's as well known. And I know a lot of people got, again, upset about the ending of this film, that it had some references maybe to what's going on now. But I still don't feel that way on that last message. I think it's just a warning of history in the future. I don't think it was like calling out like current events. It just happens to coincide with them. I don't feel that way. But how do you feel about Nuernberg? Check it out. It's definitely my favorite historical picture of the year. I think it was the only one I saw. SiSU's not real. All right, next.
Number 6.
Superman. One of my top popcorn movies of the year. I went in, got to see a big visual spectacle, got to see some people do some pretty cool shit on screen with special effects, and I got to see Nathan Fillion's really cool haircut. I liked it. I really dug this version of Superman. I am really excited to see Supergirl when it comes out this year and to see what James Gunn's going to do to Guardians of the Galaxy F5, a DC universe. Guardians of the Galaxy are my favorite Marvel movies. When those characters show up in movies that James Gunn's not at the helm of, I felt like they always cranked it up a degree. I felt this in this movie. He's got his comic book style all over the Superman, and it is well earned, well deserved. This was my favorite of the comic book movies I saw this year by a landslide. All right, now we enter my top 5. My top 5 movies I have seen more than once, actually most of them more than twice. Another one of the reasons this review is out so late is because I wanted to make sure that I really evaluated these and that these were where I really felt they should be. And I saw them with people that didn't get a chance to see them in theaters and got their opinions on them. Yeah, so here we go.
Number 5.
Warfare. Without a doubt, the most gruesome war movie I've ever seen. The most visceral, realistic adaptation of a realistic event. I guess it is the second historical movie. I did see another historical movie this year, but I like more than Nuernberg now that I'm thinking about it. It just felt so real that it didn't feel like your Saving Private Ryan kind of movie. The violence in this movie makes Saving Private Ryan look like a Nicktoon to me. All of the actors are great. One of the soldiers came back to write and direct this along with Alex Garland. This is just the most real war movie ever. This was a real hard movie to watch a second time. I think I even said in my original review that I would probably never watch this movie again. And now that I've seen it 2 or 3 times, I hopefully will never see it a 4th or a 5th. It's gruesome. It's a cinematic wonder. I will say I did notice watching it at home versus watching it in theaters, it does deflate it a little bit. The show of force where they send a jet down the streets and stuff like that. Like, it didn't have the same effect. And I have an amazing home stereo, but this just didn't do it justice that theaters do. So that's another reason for the exhibition industry, everybody. Warfare was built for the theaters and it sounded amazing in it. So if you think a movie's going to be cool and you might want to go see it in theaters, but you might wait for streaming or for it at home, go see it in theaters. The story is still gripping. The reality of it is horrifying, and yeah, I mean it's a movie that needs to be seen at least once.
Number 4.
One Battle After Another. Now, this movie I know has been a lot of people I follow and like number 1 movie of the year. Since I'm doing this movie so late, I get to see more of the Oscar buzz before I create my top 10 movies from last year, which is kind of another good reason to do it about this time. However, I still feel like the other 3 movies I have coming after this are better than it upon rewatch. This is a movie that when I got out of the theater, I thought, okay, well, that's going to be my number 1 movie of the year, hands down. It has One of the best car chase scenes I've ever seen filmed. I love car chase movies. That's one of my little guilty pleasures, even old like 70s ones. This was original. I mean, it's nauseating the way these cars are going up and down a hill at the end of this movie during this car chase, and the way the car chase even unfolds into the plot of the story. It's not a car chase movie. It's just this really cool ending piece to this amazingly threaded, generations told story of burnout dads and fucked up revolutionaries and crazy ass government officials. This movie is a trip, and it is wonderful. Go see it. I mean, I know it's got DiCaprio in it and he's great. So is Benicio del Toro, Sean Penn. I do a little bit better of a deep dive on my reviews. Check it out. But great movie.
Number 3.
Sinners. Yet another movie when I got out of the theater from seeing this early in the year. Okay, that's my number 1 movie. I love vampires. Saying it's a vampire movie is a spoiler. At this point, it's just been so done. If you're watching this review and you haven't heard anything about Sinners yet, I apologize. In my review, I do tiptoe around it, but I still do it in the review as well. It's in the marketing material. It's in the trailers. It's a vampire movie, and not only is it a vampire movie, after Interview with the Vampire, this is probably my second favorite vampire movie because it's an historical epic, it's an amazing family drama, and it is a vampire movie all merged together. And it's shot so beautiful. The music scene where we see a whole bunch of trippy stuff happen with generations of music float through the air of this amazing party. It's just something that's never been filmed like that before, and probably will be mocked and future movies are like, hey, remember what Sinners did there in that scene? Let's try that. Maybe somebody will pull it off better. Not yet. Michael B. Jordan played twins this year. A lot of people did. When you see my bottom 5 movie, there's a movie I'm going to tear apart that I could not stand that had twins in it, where the same actor plays them. I saw that movie before I saw Sinners. It actually made me feel like a little, do I really want to go into Sinners? But I'm so glad I did. Just the scene in the beginning where he's passing a cigarette back and forth and doing his dialogue. It's an amazing job of an actor playing 2 different characters. And it's a great vampire story. It's got that American folktale, just dripping all through it. I want to see more of these. I know everybody's like, well, it's an original film. Why turn it into a franchise? And I've heard those arguments because it's good. That's a good reason to turn it into a franchise. You're going to milk it till it's dry, but there is definitely 2 or 3 more stories that can be told in this universe easily just based around this story. I would love to see a prequel to this film. Sinners. Go see it. Fangs out. And the runner-up.
Number 2.
My Dead Friend Zoe. My Dead Friend Zoe is a very hard story. Not in the way of warfare. There is warfare in this movie as reference, but it's not like frontline stuff. The PTSD and what it does to people when they come home and they got to live their lives and how that affects friendships that are made through war. Sonequa Martin Green has a performance towards the end of the movie where she's in a graveyard, and I'll just leave it at that. I think that's what I said in my review too. That upon my 4th time watching this movie still brought me like tears. Even though I knew it was coming, I know the reveal, I know what's going to happen, it still got me. This movie was a lot lower on my top 10 list, and each time I saw it, I brought it further and further up until it's resting now at number 2 in a well-deserved spot. It is a great story. Natalie Morales, whom I'd only really known from Parks and Rec, plays Zoe in this. Dude, she's amazing. From the get-go, them singing Umbrella at the very beginning of the movie, throughout her story unfolding, along with Merritt's. There's a great little love story sandwiched in there. There's a amazing generational story about grandfathers and granddaughters and mothers. If you haven't seen My Dead Friend Zoe, which going by the reviews and the box office and things like that, I don't think a lot of people have. It's worth seeing. It's worth showing to your friends. Everybody I showed this movie was gushing over it towards the end, and I can't say enough good things about this movie. I have not seen it on anybody else's top 10 list that I watched. My Dead Friend Zoe, I'm happy it's here, but it's not my number 1.
Number 1.
All right, and here we are. We've arrived at the number 1 spot, the champion of 2025 for Johnny Stitch's movie review channel. Companion. Now, Companion, funny enough, is the first movie I ever reviewed on this channel, and that is not why it's my number 1. However, I only gave it an A. And if I could go back and re-rate the movie, it would be an A+ all day long. Sophie Thatcher, Jack Quaid, all the supporting cast. The story is funny. It's a horror comedy. It's a comedy horror, a heist film. It's all sorts of stuff, and it does it so well. It's one of these movies that I think will stand the test of time, and it's a movie that I will completely and utterly recommend forever to anybody I talk to about my favorite movie. I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen it. It didn't do that great in the box office. I don't know how well it's done on streaming. I haven't looked that up. So there's a good chance you haven't seen the reveal of this movie. Everyone I've shown this movie to does not know what's coming. So go into it. Don't look at posters. Don't even watch my review if you haven't watched my review on Companion. Come back and watch it afterwards or whatever. Just go into it blind. It's worth it. It will reward you for it. By far, deserves the crown. Companion. All right, and that is my 2025 favorite movies of the year in orders 10 through 1. What are yours? Please, I would love to see them. Comment below. I would love to know what your favorite movies of the year were. You guys dig the background. I know it changed a lot throughout the year. I'm still getting my bearings on how I'm going to do this. Just got my SM7B instead of using my RE320. And as always, you can follow me for more stitched up thoughts on some great or not so great plots. And I'll see you guys next time.